Hi, Jen here from Jen Michelle Coaching, and today I want to talk about, are you codependent? 3 ways to know. Who wants to say they're codependent, right? That's not exactly something that's fun to, surrender to or to admit about ourselves. But if we have these tendencies, they're going to surface again and again in all stages of love and relationships. So in this video, my purpose is to help you understand if this is something that you possess and ways in which you can handle this in any stage of love, dating, and relationships. For those of you new to my channel, I would love to invite you to subscribe. I release a video weekly. Number 1, when you're dependent for a sense of okayness from another person, you end up manipulating, and that's a strong word, manipulating, right? But bear with me when I use that word. You end up manipulating situations and scenarios because you're really scared of not being enough or of getting your needs met. And so if you deal with this in your own life, the issue becomes you're not truly present with another person. You're actually strategizing and coming up with an agenda of how to stay safe. And perhaps this served you in your early years as a child, but part of reparenting and redeveloping and growing within ourselves is being able to recognize when old coping mechanisms of survival no longer serve us. And so when we depend upon others to feel safe and feel okay, we're essentially really giving all of our power away because we don't know what they're going to do or how they're going to receive us. But if instead we're working on really developing ourselves and being okay with who we are, and then we sort of let that, be revealed, then it's not in question anymore. Then it just is, right? Because you own it, it just is. Because you love yourself, other people can see and love you too. But when we're energetically kind of asking for permission, like, am I okay? Do I look pretty enough? Am I acceptable? Am I good enough? Do you approve? When we energetically sort of have that, vibration, other people reflect it back to us. And so part of healing codependency is staying in your own emotional experience versus taking on another's. Trusting that if someone has something to tell you, they will. Otherwise, you're not wasting your precious life trying to figure out what someone else is thinking, because in reality, you're really never going to know unless they tell you anyway. So it's just a way to avoid feeling and a way to try to create control and stability within. And so the more we can consciously choose to have our own emotional experience and trust that we're enough, that we're okay, and that we're safe just as we are, the more then this is reflected on the outside. Number 2, if they're not okay, you're not okay. This is kind of the modeling that happened for like 95% of us. Most people on this planet have had codependent relationships modeled for them. That is the reality. So a lot of people don't know, well, what does it mean to not take on another person's emotional experience? And I hear it all the time, like, if my kids aren't happy, I'm not happy. If my partner's not happy, I'm not happy. But that's really not consider a healthy mentality, right? We want to be able to hold space for other people and be compassionate and supportive, but sometimes it's just necessary for people to have their own emotional experience, to be able to work their way through it and to access whatever lessons there are for them on the other side of that experience. But when we step in and try to fix it, that's just kind of our ego saying, oh, I don't like bad feelings, I want to fix this. And then we end up kind of pacifying their ego, and maybe they're not going to get to the root or get that full lesson because we've intervened. But if we can just allow someone to have their experience and really trust ourselves, consider that that's a very different energy. We're saying that you're okay as you are, and I trust you to work through this and find a solution without making it your fault or matching their instinct or their energy and taking it all on as a project of your own. Number 3, we touched on this briefly in the first one, but it's that constant, sneaky, subconscious need to get approval. And I want you to think about being self-approved, where you're accepting how you look, you're accepting your truth, your job, any areas that make you insecure where you're struggling for a sense of enoughness. You're instead really catching the tendency of your inner critic to kind of say, oh, that's not good enough, or oh, they're further along, or they have this, they have that, and instead really focus on yourself and the gifts that you possess that are so magnetic and unique to you, because each of us has very unique magnetic qualities. And maybe spend a little time thinking about what those are within yourself, so you can begin to draw them out instead of looking at someone else's gifts and saying, oh, my life would be better if I had that, or oh, I wouldn't have these issues if I were where they are, that sort of tendency, because that again is something that leaves us powerless. So instead, really think about the things that are so unique and magical about you and start building from there. Start really noticing the ways in which you talk to yourself and where you can make adjustments and how much better that feels. But really bring some consciousness to choosing a better feeling thought anytime you notice yourself going into patterns of feeling helpless, not good enough, and just seeking that approval outside of yourself in any way. If this is a topic that you could use more support around, I offer lots of different coaching in this area, whether it's private or within my group. I have my group waiting list back up, and I'll be running the next offering of it in April. So if this speaks to you, we have a module dedicated to this, as well as other topics of discussion that will support you in really becoming the woman that claims herself in this way. Please check out jenmichellecoaching.com, and I'll put the group wait list at the link below. Much love, and see you all next week.
Got this feeling I can't describe.